Dr. B.R. Ambedkar students. I am Dr. Anjaya, S. Anjaya, is professor from Usmania University, is giving lecture in our audio video lesson, is lecture on Cholas. Cholas is on Cholas Socio economic cultural contributions of Cholas, which was a part of UG first year second sem. On this topic I am going to deliver my lecture, Cholas Socio economic and cultural contributions. That is the topic. Economic prosperity, Cholas high development in the in the weaving and metallurgy, established commercial contacts with the China and Arabia. Cholas period, you see, stability of rulers, and also the so great rulers, they were expanded their kingdom behind the Indian borders, and they established their hegemony over the Sri Lanka, Southeast Asia, and also the Lakshadweep, and also and Maldives, Lakshadweeps, and thus entire South India, and also up to the Gangetic river, they were ruled. So that is why Cholas the rule is economically, it was very much prosperous. They contracted the trade and commerce. The Cholas contracted with the China. The entire Bay of Bengal was a Chola lake, so turned into a Chola lake. They were traded with the Sri Lanka, Southeast Asia, and also China and Arabia. Then Cholas, for the economic prosperity, Cholas provided irrigation facilities for the agriculturists. Remarkable works like the artificial lake at Gangaikonda Cholapuram, built by Gangaikonda Cholapuram, this irrigation facility provided by Rajendra Chola, son of Rajaraja I. Then Cholas period, social conditions. What social conditions are in Cholas period is that the fourfold society, means Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. The four classes society was existed, but here Brahmins were given highest position. Second position is the Kshatriya rulers position. They are belongs to the solar dynasty. They themselves are claimed. Then third position is that the Vaishyas. Fourth position is that the Sudras. But here in the social society, Devadasi system was also prevailed. Devadasi system was very the system that was temple girl system was prevailed in the society. So social stigmas, religious social aspects. Then religion. During this period, Cholas were the dominant patronages of Shaivism. Many Shaivite temple came into existence. Those temple are Brudishwara temple built by the Rajaraja I, and many Shaivite temples built by the even in Gangaikonda Cholapuram. Rajendra I also built a temple, Shaivite temple at Gangaikonda Cholapuram, a small size, but it is in small size. Thus Shaivite temples are most important temples during the Cholas period. Shaivism was patronized. However, Vaishnavism also, they were liberal, tolerant. Vaishnava Saint Ramanuja was lived during this period. Ramanuja Charyulu, Vaishnavite saint. Then significant works of included literature aspect is that Tamil literature and Sanskrit language reached to the peak stage. Tamil literature, many works are produced in Tamil literature. Sanskrit language reached to the peak stage. Tamil language also reached to the peak stage during the Cholas period. Not only Tamil, they ruled the Kannada area, Kannada language, and also they ruled the Telugu area with the so Vengi Chalukyas, so that with Telugu language and Kannada language, and then the language of Malayalam and also Kerala language, and the Kerala was also under them language, and regional languages and Sanskrit language reached to the peak stage during this period. Then most important works of this period included Kambam's Ramayana. Kamban written Ramayana from Sanskrit to Tamil is this is most important work. Kamban's translated Ramayana from Sanskrit to the Tamil. Another most important work is that Secular's Periya Puranam is most important work, Periya Puranam, Secular's. Then another one is that then the most important religious people of Shaivism, Apar, Sambandar and Sundaramurti were lived during this period, and also Shaivite, Alvar, Nayanar saints also lived during this period. Naval power maintained regiments along with the other the infantry, cavalry and all elephantry. Naval power is only one. The rulers of the India maintained naval power and thus crossed the Indian Ocean and established their hegemony over Sri Lanka and also Sri Vijaya Empire, Maldives and Lakshadweep and all this area. Thus Chola Lake became a lake of the Chola Lake, Bay of Bengal. Then during this period, most important contribution of Cholas is that Dravidian style of architecture perfected and reached to peak stage, which was started by Pallavas. Dravidian style of architecture, Chola artists are built big temples of Brodishwara temple and also big mandapas, vimanas, and also mandapas, not only one mandapa, and Antarala mandapa and 2-3 mandapas, vimanas, shikaras are all came into existence. Whichever started by architecture of Pallavas reached to peak stage during the Cholas period. Brodishwara temple is a Shaivite temple, and also Gangaikonda Cholapuram Shaivite temple, and also the Vaishnavite and Buddhist structures. Now, then most important aspect of the Cholas architecture is that the bronze image of the dancing Shiva, Nataraja, is the masterpiece of Chola metal art. Dancing bronze image of dancing Shiva or Nataraja is the masterpiece of Chola metal art. Then Chola Empire fall because of rise of Pandyan power, Pandyan, Sundara Pandyan, Veera Pandyan, Pandyan power, and the emergence of feudatory kingdoms eventually led to the feudatory Samantarajas, so led to the end of the Chola rule by 13th century. So that legacy of Cholas is that most important aspect is that Cholas built Brodishwara temple remains a touchstone of Indian architecture. Thus Cholas contributed very lot for the social, cultural and also economic prosperity and village self-government. So this way Cholas were the great rulers, where the Cholas period is a famous Sanskrit language. Kamban produced the Kamban Ramayana translated from Sanskrit to Tamil, and also secular, so Periya Puranam and many works. Alvar, Nayanar saints, Shaivite and Vaishnava saints, and Shaivite means Nayanars, Vaishnavates means Alvar saints were the dominant preachers of this period. Very Bhakti was very much dominant, and regional language was also flourished, Sanskrit language also flourished. In this way Cholas were famous for social, economic and cultural contribution of the South India, and these are the only rulers in India ruled the behind the territories of India, that is Sri Lanka, Shailendra kingdoms of Southeast Asia, Maldives and also Lakshadweep were under their control. Thus this way art and architecture reached to peak stage. Thus, Cholas period is a peak period of in all respects in Indian history. Thanks to one and all of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar students.